Hello friends, welcome to today's video. For today's video, I'm going to be reviewing and talking about and swatching and showing this look from the Dose of Colors Blushing Berries palette. I did receive this in my BoxyCharm in October, I want to say it was, and I have been playing around with this in my day-to-day life for a number of weeks now, seeing how the formula works, seeing how the formula lasts, and I have some opinions on this. So for this video, what I'm going to do is tell you just a little tiny bit about Dose of Colors because it's my first time reviewing it on my channel. I'm going to tell you about this palette. I am going to do some swatches and then show you this look and then give you all my thoughts at the end. So let's start with talking about Dose of Colors just a little bit. I always find it interesting to look at sort of why a brand was started. So this brand was founded by Anna Petrosian. She founded this brand in 2013 and she has been a freelance makeup artist for over 10 years before that. So she really had some depth of experience and knowledge about makeup and applying it to, many different people before starting this brand. So being a freelance makeup artist equipped her with the knowledge and insight to create, innovate, and cultivate a brand of exceptional quality and excellence. And I do know, as somebody who has never tried Dose of Colors before but watches a lot of beauty community, beauty YouTube, I always sort of have a positive feeling about Dose of Colors, like that their formulas work well, they're really pigmented, that people really enjoy their products. So Dose of Colors creates cruelty-free cosmetics that are user-friendly, functional, and always on trend. We love developing products that require minimal effort yet deliver maximum results. We are determined to bridge the gap between artistry, efficacy, and comfort one product at a time. So it's pretty clear, it's pretty straightforward. I like that their founder has a reason why she's creating a makeup line because she is somebody who has been a makeup artist for many years, and I feel like that's all I'm gonna say at this point about Dose of Colors. So let's talk about the palette in particular. So these eyeshadow palettes seem to be a little series of them, and there are 6 of them. This is the Blushing Berries. There's also the Baked Browns, which is much more neutral, the Marvelous Mauves, which are all mauve colored, the Pretty Cool, which is cool toned browns, Sassy Siennas, which is also warm tone but pulling a little bit more orange while this pulls more berry, and then Snow Angels, which seems to be like cool grays, pinks, and blues. All of these cost $32 US, which is a little on the pricier side, but I mean, it's in line with what you'd expect to pay at Sephora. So for those of us in Canada, this would be about a $40 palette. For the Blushing Berries palette, they describe the colors in here as rich plums and ripe berry shades. It is cruelty-free, talc-free, and paraben-free. The description is that it is a 5-pan matte eyeshadow palette. It's a great way to add boldness and vibrance to your eye looks. And really, that's all there is to say about it. So let's get into doing some swatches. So here we go for the swatches. We have Berry Chic, Roseberry, Berry Pop, Mixed Berry, and Berry Black. And now let's go to showing you how I did the look that I have on today. I'm starting by priming my eyes with my soft ochre paint pot from MAC. Sure, I don't need to tell you guys this, but the nice thing about this is it provides a sticky base, but also covers up redness, discoloration, freckles, all of that. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how I honestly have been using this palette day to day, and then I'm going to build on that look because what I like in my everyday life is very subtle. I often won't even use eyeshadow. I really like focusing on my base, my skin, blush contouring, some nice glossy lip colors, and mascara, maybe eyeliner, but I don't tend to do a lot of eye makeup, especially really bold looks in my day-to-day life. So if I'm going out or going to the office, it's pretty natural looking. So in testing this palette, there are ways that you can make even these colors work in like a office setting. I mean, whatever you want. If you want to do a bold eye to work, you go ahead and do that. But for me, I like things that are less focused on the eye look. So I have been going into like Berry Chic or one of these 3 shades just with a huge fluffy brush. This is the Luxie Large Eye Blending Brush. And I'm going to do Berry Chic this time, this lightest colored one. So I tap into there and it picks up a lot of color right away. So I just tap that off and I'm going to very lightly, barely touching my skin, start to blend that into the crease and down onto the lid. And then as I deposit the color, I tap it off even more or even swirl it off to get a lot of the color off, and then blend along the top, but still keep pulling it down onto the lid as well. And I'll basically do that and throw on some liner and some mascara, and that is my eye look for work. Just a very monochromatic. There, this eye is coming out just a little bit better, actually. Or closer to how I usually do it, because I tend to keep the color pretty low and then wipe off the excess from my brush and then start to blend through the crease. So this, as I said, along with some liner, mascara, everyday look. And I can also do this with an even lighter hand with that burgundy, the roseberry, or this really nice like deep purpley rose, which is Berry Pop. But for the purpose of this, I want to show you how a few more of these shadows work, so we're going to play around a little bit more. So I've just laid down Berry Chic as sort of my base and my blend. So that is going to be the most sort of transition color of the group. And I will say as well that I like formulas that can do this. You can use them very opaque and pat it on to get the full color, or you can really use a light touch and blend them out. I'm going to deepen up the crease a little bit lower just to start to bring a little bit more dimension. So I'm going to go into the next shade along here, which is Roseberry, with a brush that is also fluffy, but not quite as fluffy as that first one. And I'm going to start quite a bit lower. And for this one, I'm almost going to bring it like this way because I want to almost wing it out a little bit. So I've just deepened up a little lower in the crease there. And to keep everything nice and blended, I'm going back in with the big fluffy brush and blending. I will say as well that I feel like I just got my hair redone red, and I feel like these colors don't go quite as well with red hair as they did when my hair was more blonde. Now I'm going to go over to this sort of dark purpley brown shade that's called Mixed Berries, and I'm going to pat that onto, at a sort of more opaque amount, onto my lid. I keep doing this where you can't see it, I apologize. So you can see that when you use these patted on, you get like the full color of them. And a little bit of fallout. And then I'm going to use that fluffy brush back into this second one here to do a little bit of blending. And these are really blendable formulas that we have here. So the last thing I'm going to do is smudge a little bit of the black, which is Blackberry, just right along my lash line instead of a liner. And for that, I'm just going to use a very flat brush and just the edge of it. And it's a really nice opaque black that doesn't pick up the color underneath. And I am going to smoke out underneath the eye a little bit. I'm going to use a flat brush into Roseberry there just to keep that close to the lash line, and then I'll blend it out with the lightest shade. How about I do that where you can see me? And then I'm going to take a tiny little blending brush into Berry Chic, which is that lightest one, just to fluff that out along the lash line. So there we go. I think everything blends really nicely. I'm going to go finish up the look with some lips and some mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, here I am back with the final look. I did a little bit more blush on my cheeks to sort of balance out the red tones, warm tones on my eyes, and just did a very neutral lip. And I used the Tarte Big Ego mascara, I believe it was. And yeah, I mean, this is very like vampy looking. I don't mind it though. Everything blends really nicely. I do like warm toned looks. So I enjoy this. So as far as reviewing this palette, I think what I'm really reviewing here is the matte formula for Dose of Colors. Because if you actually look at the palette itself, you know what you're getting into here. It is a matte monochromatic palette. You want burgundy and pink tones in all mattes. This is what you're getting. So, you know, as far as that, it shouldn't be a surprise. Is it the most versatile thing in the world? No, because it's monochromatic. You're going to get all of that look. It's going to be warm. So this is a palette that you would buy to either do just very warm looks or to go with a neutral palette so that you could get some pops of pinks and burgundies in there. The only thing that I would say is, I mean, if you are building your collection, this is a really good matte black, but I feel like a lot of palettes include matte black. So maybe there's something else they could have put in there instead, like even making it just a really, really deep, rich burgundy that like just edged on black might be a little bit more interesting. But basically, you know what you're getting with this palette. You are getting berry tones. And I kind of like the idea of having little supplement palettes that are like, you know, these are all berry tones. These are all green tones. These are all, you know, gray tones, whatever that might be. I kind of like that. And as far as the formula goes, these are so nice. There is the tiniest bit of fallout, but only if you're trying to pack a color on, and everything blends really well. As I said before, when I was doing a very light touch, you can get a really light touch out of it, or you can really pack the color on and then blend the edges. And it does that really nice thing where the color stays, the edges blend, but you don't blend all of the color away. And for me anyway, it doesn't seem to get patchy. And I will mention that as I have been wearing this to work, it doesn't crease on me. It stays vibrant all day. I mean, maybe it's a little bit faded at the end of the day, but it's not moving around, and it definitely doesn't start to crease on me. And I have pretty heavily hooded eyes, so things sometimes crease on me. But as far as the formula goes, for matte Dose of Colors, I really, really enjoy the formula that they've done here. I think this is a nice little palette to sort of keep tucked in with maybe a larger neutral palette, as I said. The other thing I guess I could mention is if you were in a pinch, you could maybe even use this as a blush. Just try not to get into the other shade too much. So in that way, it has maybe a little bit more versatility. But all that to say is that I think this is like the 5th time I've said this. I really enjoy the formula of this. And this is my first time playing around with Dose of Colors eyeshadows, so I'm impressed and I would be interested in trying more. And also I'd be interested in trying other formulas like metallic or shimmer or, you know, satin, whatever else they may have. So I'd love to hear from you guys. I know people got different variations of Dose of Color palettes. Some got more neutrals. There were other ones like cool tones that people got. Let me know what your experience with them has been down in the comments. At this point, I usually say that I try to respond to every comment that I get. I haven't been able to do that lately, and I do apologize. It's just been busy lately. So if you don't get a response from me, I apologize, but I do read every comment that comes in and I do try to respond when I can. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. And I look forward to seeing all of you in my next video. Bye.